What's good, guys? Nadeska, Academics and Wayno back here. Another glorious Thursday.
Y'all see the rebrand starting?
Struggle.
Rebrand starting, hat backwards, not frontwards. Woo! I'm just letting y'all niggas know.
What the fuck?
Why'd you come in wearing all white today? You know production hates that.
I didn't know that like Complex has like a color issue. You can't wear
you
white
don't
on
know.
camera.
the
Every time they got on mic and said, Wayno, you have to put on a jacket or something.
I just thought they didn't like you.
Damn,
sorry.
my nigga.
I just thought they're like picking on you. I'm like, hey, but I learned a valuable lesson.
Which was?
Because I come in here, I'm trying to drink my green tea to, mellow out before
Green
the
tea,
show.
okay.
My, you know what I mean? And I spilled something on my white shirt, so if I do see a stain, I tried to wash it in the bathroom. Some ghetto shit.
I think we did a good job. I blow dried it. I can't even really see it now. You're good.
Nadeska is like
Mom?
a great momager.
Yo, man.
Mom, mature. Don't ever call me that again, Academics.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's Thursday, not Thursday, Friday, because we will have a Friday episode because we missed Monday. Our apologies again. It was an accident.
Hey, well, hold on now. Hold on. That's me making it up to y'all. I know y'all killed me for Monday.
You can't say me making it up because the whole crew has to work on
Right,
Friday.
it's not just
so
you.
why don't you
Making it
say
out here
we're-
anyway. He makes it about him.
It's fucking
Nah.
bad.
But seriously though, and also for all the times y'all say I be late, blah, I'm in here Friday and we gonna bang out a great episode. And there's albums dropping Thursday.
Yes, it is.
We're not talking
Thursday
about
night.
them Friday though, right?
Well,
It's unfair. It's
No,
unfair.
I
You can
think-
get first impressions, but let's
First
not do
impressions. We're not doing deep
reviews.
dives.
All right, let's get into the show. We got some good fan questions for you guys today, but let's start with French Montana, who did an interview with LA's Real 92.3. So Bootleg Kevin DJ had asked him. They mentioned a lot of people still seem to think that 6ix9ine is the current king of New York. French definitely disagreed. He had a different opinion, saying he feels more like 6ix9ine reminds him of the wave he and Max B created a few years back. Let's check it out.
You can't say you're the king of New York when Jay-Z's still alive. Facts.
I didn't say he was the king. I said a lot of people.
No. I'm not saying you said it. I'm saying you can never say you're the king of New York when Jay-Z's still alive. Let's get to Nas.
Or Nas or 50 for that matter.
Yeah, let's get.
All right, I feel like, are we all agreed that he's not the king of New York? We talked about this before.
Yeah, we've talked about this
and-
plenty of times.
But what do you think of him comparing it to the Max B, the Coke Boys wave? Does that make sense?
Somewhat. I mean, music was like really different around like 2008 when the Coke wave started and all of that. And Max B was very controversial. I think if Max B would have had more time to get more mainstream looks, he could have probably took it on a bigger scale like a 6ix9ine, because he had his whole problems with Jim and he was coming at Dipset and all of them, and he didn't care. Like, he would diss anybody. So, and he did the videos. Like, he was one of the first people doing them YouTube videos, talking wild, crazy, talking shit. And this is before Instagram existed. So I get what he's saying there. But myself, I never looked at 6ix9ine as the king of New York. You know, we had a whole big thing about what qualifies you and what makes it. And Ak had his thoughts about that was then, this is now. So I just never looked at him as king of New York at all. Like, nothing about him.
I thought this was convenient. 6ix9ine's locked up. Maybe my memory's bad, okay, and my green tea sometimes could impair my memory. It's okay. But I thought French at one point when asked that question, because when 6ix9ine was proclaiming he's the king, they started asking everybody, what do you think about that nigga saying he's a king? We want to know what 50 thought. We wanted to know everybody. And you know what, there was a distinction made, it felt, and I'm going to get straight to French in a second, but like, for example, 50. 50 was like, well, he's the king of the new niggas, fuck it. And a lot of people was like, shit, I did On the Sticks with A Boogie. A Boogie said, I ain't gonna lie, right now, if we're gonna call the king the hottest guy in New York and the queen the hottest woman in New York, yeah, he got it, right? But I could remember French saying or not disputing that he was king at an earlier point, maybe like 2 months ago.
What did he say? Do you remember?
I don't know if he co-signed him, but I think he said, yo, he got some records and he didn't dispute it.
I think it's important to note that hottest and king are wildly different things.
And that's where the whole conversation really got into, because it got conflated. Because when we very first had that conversation, Wayno's point was, nigga, if you can't slide to Barclays or if you can't do certain things, that is, that would
Built off
embody
the
a
foundation.
king.
Yeah.
So built off the foundation. And the whole thing is this, is like, there's a big discrepancy between hottest and dopest, right? People always think like the hottest, like 6ix9ine is hot for a lot of reasons. A lot of the reasons why he's hot is not music. A lot of I would say that he's probably the most visible artist I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen anybody, I wouldn't say ever. I say new artists coming out within a year. He's
Especially
probably one of the most.
Especially out of New York.
In New York, he's the most visible. Is no artist. How many followers he got on Instagram? Like 10 million or some crazy
You
shit.
would know better.
15.4.
15.4 million. And how many he had before he got locked up? Because I know a lot of that shit went up once he got locked up.
He had 14.8.
All right, so look. No, I'm just talking
I know
about
numbers.
in terms of.
It's a number segment.
In terms of visibility, that's what makes him hot because his visibility. But his visibility comes from a slew of things. His controversy, him talking crazy to people, his hair, all these, is not for music. When we talked about King of New York, prior, it had to do with you being visible, but also being dope, being a dope artist.
It has to do with longevity. I think that's
longevity.
the thing. Being hot, there's like a timestamp on that.
Yeah,
Usually a very
it's a lot
short
of hot
one.
niggas.
Longevity is hard. You cannot be the king of anything if you don't have longevity, period.
Right.
Okay, all right. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate, and
Always.
I'm playing
Your
devil's
favorite
advocate,
game.
and also niggas in the comment section right now probably be like, yo, you 6'9" friend, you biased.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna use my bias card.
All right, here we go.
Okay, use your bias card.
Let me use
your
my bias card.
Use your
When-
bias
see, When
card.
I'm using my bias card, I'm telling you. So,
You act different when you dress in white.
no,
All right, let's go.
Right,
Let's
sorry.
go.
Anyway.
I want to hit his bias card.
so let's go back to when 6ix9ine did proclaim he's king. He did mention one thing which I don't think a lot of people would say that was bad. He said, I'm not trying to diss nobody when I say I'm king. I'm really just trying to encourage everybody. I want to get that competitiveness within the city. And I get it, we're saying longevity versus hotness, but I think for him he was like, yo, if you get hotter than me or if I fall off, you get the king. And we all should strive for it, right? No?
No. No, I'm with you, but no.
But
Okay.
no.
No, hold on. But that was his interpretation
That's
of
a
it.
really dumb
And-
interpretation. Sorry.
Well,
He do a lot of dumb things, or did a lot of dumb things. But
no,
go ahead.
wait. But
ahead.
think about it though. Like, if could we compare any new artists? Like, if we're thinking about the kings of New York to be like Jay, like, did he count? Like, did he just king of everything? Right?
Again, look, we judge. We're judging a lot of
We could never
this.
have a new age king.
That's
if
not
we're
true.
comparing to
If
Diddy.
Kendrick was from New York, he would be the new age king of New York.
Well,
I'm saying.
I'll say.
He already has a few
But-
great albums. He's proved that he's
Okay.
here to stay.
However-
6ix9ine never proved that.
Okay, I get it. But essentially, because Jay, even though he did release an album last year, the thing about King, whether it's a strong king or a king that's gonna rule for a long while, or it's a guy who holds a crown, who's an interim king who holds a crown for 6 months or a year, like that throne is never vacant.
Okay.
It's never vacant.
Okay.
So I understood. Listen, we don't have a Kendrick. Like if I'm on the West or from Cali, yeah, Kendrick's a king. He's gonna run this shit for the next 5. If I'm from Toronto, Drake's gonna run this shit for the next 5.
Okay, so look, I
New
think-
York is like, shit. We could make a point that Designer was a contender for like 6 months. 6 months.
Stop.
See,
6
you're
months.
wilding, you're wilding, you're wilding,
Cut
you're
it
wilding. And I see, I hate things like this because I don't want to. I hate to talk about Designer in that context because he's a very cool guy and all of that, but I don't think you a contender.
Bobby wasn't a contender for like a short period.
No. You want to know why? And I think because when you become king you have to represent the city well. I think it goes into how you represent your city, right? Now, my biggest...
Break that down.
I'm gonna break it down. So my biggest thing when we had 6ix9ine, when we had the first conversation about 6ix9ine months ago, it was he has too much disrespect on his name. Now, I get that whole thing about him saying it to create competitive nature and competitive culture but that, don't act like that was the only shit he was saying. He was like, man, none of these niggas can fuck with me, suck my dick, nobody. He was talking crazy and he was representing what I'm not even going into his hair. Fuck his hair, right? I'm just talking about who he is as a person. He was not a good representation because of how he acted.
Okay, listen. Donald
And
Trump,
he's not
Donald
dope. He's
Trump,
not a dope rapper.
Donald Trump
He's not a
ain't
dope
a
rapper.
good representation of what the president
No,
is.
you're
But
not
he's
gonna go there.
president.
You're not
Nah,
gonna-
You know what,
he's
Ak?
president. Hold on.
All right, so 6ix9ine is king because of niggas like you then.
No.
So you're
hold
a
on.
Trump supporter in that
Wait,
sense.
wait.
What?
I got another point.
All right, go ahead.
So my first point is, I get it. He may have not represented it the way that we felt other kings have. Got you. And I agree. But we have seen, whether we're looking outside of hip hop or in, we'll just say outside right now, Trump, he's the president, regardless if he embodies it and represents it like we think. Secondly, look at, I always say, I remember when T.I. said, I'm the king of the South.
Everybody that you bringing up is dope.
No.
have a legacy to stand on.
Hold on. Let me make this point.
Okay.
When you say it, Instantly when T.I. said it, you had people willing to challenge.
Right.
You not the king, nigga. If anything, so-and-so's the king.
Right.
But you're not the king.
Okay.
Let's be very clear. Was there really any strong challenge while he was free? I know he's locked up now and it's different, and who knows, he might be locked up for a while. But when he proclaimed he was king of New York, there was some mumbles, but no one really stood on it and really said, you're not the fucking king.
And you want to know why I think that
This is the strongest statement, and he's locked up.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because everybody had a feeling that this shit was gonna end. Like everybody had a feeling like, oh, nah, this nigga's, and they weren't wrong. Everybody was like, oh, nah, he's not gonna last that long.
Right.
He's not gonna last that long. And I don't know what his future is gonna hold for him, but everybody saw, and I don't want to put that on him, but people saw death or jail, and jail came. And that's why people was like, oh, nah, he's not going to last that long. On top of that.
But why didn't they challenge it, though?
Because he's not even, let me tell you something. When it comes to being king, right? King rules, right? In order to rule, you got to be strong in your craft. He's not a dope rapper, my nigga. It's that simple. He's good at making songs. He can get on Billboard. He's good at visibility, all of that. He's not a dope rapper. When it comes to rapping, he's not a dope rapper.
So let me ask you the fundamental question.
Everybody who's king, everybody who claimed king was a dope rapper. Tell me one person who claimed to be a king of a South, of fucking Toronto, whatever.
All right, hold on. We
that
can
was
stay
a
on T.I.
dope rapper.
Okay.
T.I.
is a fucking dope rapper.
T.I. is a dope rapper. But
Always was.
I don't know
Always
about always was. To me, I
Really?
felt like
T.I.
Look at
wasn't
T.I.
always a dope rapper.
no, I want to hear this point.
look
Okay,
at,
you've
look
spoken
at
about his
T.I.'s
catalog and you like it.
career.
Okay.
And I do love his catalog.
Right.
But if we're talking about, especially in the sense that I think you're talking about dope rapper, lyricism, all that.
Yeah.
T.I. showed his lyrical ability and really like got into that back towards the end of
You're
his...
out of your mind. You was not listening to music.
Oh, okay.
You was not listening
Name
to
the
music.
albums.
Name the albums.
Are you-
Trap
is it-
music, urban legend.
Okay.
I'm serious. None of those.
Dope. More,
He
more,
stepped
hold
it
on,
up every.
more embodiment of more real shit and also
Lyricism.
Like,
Before we get to Paper Trail.
Paper Trail is where he hit.
No.
I got some shit for y'all.
Before he hit Paper Trail.
Paper Trail was the biggest embodiment of that.
Wait. Before he hit Paper Trail, he was respected. He was respected from Jay-Z. Jay-Z took him on a fucking, what was the Best of Both Worlds tour when R. Kelly got taken off the shit? T.I. was on that tour doing Rubber Band Man every night. I remember that because I was on that tour.
Rubber Band Man ain't no lyrics. Come on.
Wait.
Rubber Band Man.
That was a big single.
It was a big single. That
and he had
single is equivalent to all the bullshit.
No, you talking
6ix9ine
numbers. You're
singles.
talking numbers. Not you talking numbers. Not you
He
talking.
just put out this album and you said the features all overpowered him on his own project. And this was an important time for him,
No. I'm not disputing what y'all saying.
Wait.
Only question I'm asking
Okay.
is that we can't then base, this king title on you have to be lyrically respected.
I don't think it's only lyrically respected.
I
just
don't
You have to be
think-
a dope rapper, dog.
No,
it's that simple.
Honestly,
the whole king shit started with Biggie. The whole king shit started with Biggie.
I think there's niggas who are kings of whatever they claim, and a lot of times it's not off music, it's off movement.
All right, 6ix9ine is definitely a king. You know who he's a king of? I feel like he's a king of the trolls.
What's his movement?
I feel like, exactly.
All right, hold
No,
on.
let's talk about the movement. Real
The
question.
movement that he
All right.
denounced?
No. Well,
The gang
you're right.
movement,
Right,
the
the
movement that
movement
got
he
him locked
denounced.
up.
No, you're right. So this is in hindsight, we're discussing it.
Okay.
But other than before him, Bobby Shmurda, and other than before Bobby Shmurda, let's go back to maybe 50, and of course, maybe Dipset and a couple other groups or people.
Okay.
There wasn't no movement like that that looked and kind of came across even on a street level. When it connected to music, like what 6ix9ine had till Bobby Shmurda.
What do you mean?
Wait,
Sorry, say that again.
To what? To Bobby Shmurda?
I'm talking about not only the imagery or whatever, but the people behind it.
Wait,
You're saying there weren't people behind
There
those
wasn't-
movements?
there was
Like
no,
Dipset and stuff like that?
So
No. I said they had it as well. But I'm saying that that's what really. I play this. What's the difference between a Jay Critch and a 6ix9ine?
That's not. That's not even. What's the difference between Jay?
Yo, you can name most New
Trolling
York artists.
antics?
No, you
Listen.
can name most New York artists. They didn't have a movement
Jay
with
Critch is a
them.
better rapper than 6ix9ine. That's the difference.
But
now,
but what I was trying to say, I'm not disputing all that.
Okay.
What I'm disputing, and by the way, we could get to the music because I think all them niggas you naming don't make better songs than him.
All right, let's
Doesn't have to be better rappers.
music aside. I like the movement conversation. What was his movement?
Listen, on a street level, like just like we made this point. Hold on.
Go ahead.
We made this point.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he comes out, he does Gummo. I looked at the video and said, yo, this shit is kind of very entertaining. That means
But was
nothing.
it real? Was any of it real? That's the thing. Especially as
He's
all
indicted.
Of this,
People are indicted with him.
but aren't we saying he was just a
That
puppet
makes you
who
the
got
king?
used
No.
half of the time? I'm confused.
But again, a lot of times,
Bro,
hold on,
6ix9ine
wait.
ain't
A
built
lot
no
of times the
Rockefeller.
rapper isn't the person with it.
I just don't feel like he really had a movement.
Jeezy, BMF, come on, man, we got.
He had a huge presence. No, he had a huge presence, absolutely.
No,
but
what
I don't
mean
see
by
what the movement is.
There's a particular part that falls to the shadows, but hip hop is still really based on that. Where if you have that street element supporting, no matter what clown shit you might
A lot
be
of
on.
rappers have that, but they don't like make it such a big spectacle.
Dog, listen, wait.
In New York?
The nigga had, wait a second,
In New York?
Wait, the nigga had, he was fun to look at. He's a fucking Mexican kid, fucking with street gang culture, with rainbow hair and a good catchphrase. Other than that, he's not a, wait a second. You got to say a lot.
to New York
You got
rappers.
to say a lot.
Compared to New York rappers.
We talking about King, right? We talking about King. Talking about comparing kings or whatever. 6ix9ine, when it comes to now all that street element music, when you go to when he was doing shows outside of New York, where's he performing? Where's he performing? What streets is fucking with him outside of New York?
We're talking
what
about
streets?
New York.
In order to be the king of New York, you gotta, in order to be the king of New
Yeah,
York.
but you can't compare. He's saying if you're comparing him, you have to compare him to former kings. You can't compare him to someone like a Jay Critch who's just up and
Jay
coming.
Critch never said he was king.
Okay.
Hey, Boogie never claimed that. Neither did Don Q or nobody else.
I wasn't getting at them.
Okay.
I wasn't.
You brought the name up, though.
No. Well, I brought the name up because I said, listen, there are a bunch of people who aren't lyrical masterminds or has the utmost respect lyrically that have garnered that, maybe not even respect, because, respect could be anywhere in between. But you'd be like, all right, they do their thing, and it's not only off lyricism.
So you think
a lot of times it's off movement.
So you think Treyway, do you think that whole Treyway shit wait a second.
Even Chicago, Keef was a king.
Didn't he have a whole?
It ain't off lyric.
But he had a whole movement behind him.
We talking about movements here. So you telling me that whole shit that 6ix9ine was doing, that whole Treyway shit, whatever the case may be, was a stronger movement than ASAP Mob? When ASAP Mob came?
No chance.
Wait.
ASAP Mob. ASAP Mob, Rocky, with his energy, bringing him, 12V, Addy, Ferg,
everyone, Yams,
fucking Yams, all of them. You telling me movement-wise, respect-wise, all of that. And Rocky's not the best lyricist.
If we're talking about on a street level,
I'm confused about the street level.
Stop
if you're
talking
talking
about the
If
streets,
you're talking about a movement in hip hop,
that don't matter?
How you talking about?
we're talking about a movement in music.
The streets was fucking with him.
Yo. I'm saying he had backing in New York, and that was significant.
Other rappers have a backing, but we're talking about a movement in music. That's just gang shit.
Are we comparing the people and the entities?
You're burning your bias card out with it.
No. Hold on.
Because you went from being biased to like just overtly just like you're bugging. You're bugging saying this shit. You're bugging.
If certain entities are behind you, you gain that cachet that, again, it just doesn't have to do with music.
You're talking about the streets being behind you, right?
I said in relation to when he first came out.
Did the streets love him?
That music.
Did the streets love him? Did the streets love him though? Did the streets love him? Hold on. Go ahead. Did the streets love this nigga? Did the streets love him? Everywhere.
In New York.
Nigga, Jay-Z loved the streets everywhere.
New York.
Everywhere. New York and everywhere.
I'm talking about in New York. Did he run around and do what the fuck he wanted to do in New York?
Yeah, he ran around doing
security.
Guess what? Doing what you want to do is not being disrespectful.
I don't know if it was security.
Bro, he ran around being disrespectful. Doing what you want to do, you're equating this nigga being disrespectful.
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about disrespect. I'm talking about
what did he do that he wanted to do?
And that's why I don't even want to focus on him. I'm saying that sometimes artists have a certain respect level, and it gives them an advantage to claim king. It gives them that advantage.
Yo, he don't have no.
And I'm not talking about himself.
Stop. You talking about all the shit that made him is the shit he's saying. I don't know who these people is.
All right, I'm not disputing that. I'm just talking about what it actually was when he was coming up. The people behind Bobby Shmurda gave him that type of respect. And also, if he was around long enough, if he was around long enough and he was dominating the New York scene, he would have gotten the
It's
nod.
So if the
it's
people
too-
behind you are so controversial that you would land in prison, what are we talking
Okay,
about?
but we're talking about now. I'm not talking about when he got locked up. I'm talking about while he was here proclaiming. He's not in jail calling like, yo, I'm the king. No, he's not doing that. I'm talking about before all of this like fucking just erupted.
He stayed in Brooklyn with that shit. Like now, don't get me wrong. Now he's connected. He was running with niggas that he shouldn't have had no business running with. Facts, because of what's happening now. He was running with niggas he had no business running with. We talking about being king of New York, right? And my thing about being king of New York is having respect. If we're gonna base this whole king thing, which is not a real thing, like being king of New York is like getting the key to the city.
I know, I wanna wrap this thought up.
It opens nothing. It's just a thing for people to debate and talk about, right?
Yeah.
But if we're basing that off of what it was built on, right? Of what it was built on, then he has nothing that makes him that. Nothing. Now, because the whole King of New York thing comes from an article in the Source that they put Biggie on the Source
and I understand that's it.
So how do we get to fucking?
Yeah, no, but that had a different criteria. I'm talking about how people are viewing King now. Like, yo, not only the hottest, right?
The most followers?
No, not
The
only the
loudest
hottest.
nigga
All right, so if
room?
we can't even agree on what the definition is, this is a fucking useless argument
Listen,
because you
is.
could go in
the
circles
all right,
forever.
and this is my last point. The easiest parallel to say is this, and this is what I was saying about the people behind them, as long as, and also the music connecting. You're right, not the most lyrical person. New York is known for lyricism. I get all that. And I get that when I'm making this point, I'm going to a different city where maybe lyricism isn't like the fucking like core of how music has been portrayed there. But Chicago, if Chief Keef within a year and a half or 2 year period, if people were saying who's the king of Chicago and his name was mentioned.
So Keef influenced a lot of kids, right? He sort of influenced Chicago music and whatever. 6ix9ine. So say he goes away now for a few years. What's his legacy? Are kids inspired by him? What are they taking from what he did?
100%.
Genuine question.
In
terms of music.
Hold on.
In
Keep
terms of
inspired
music.
music.
In terms of
Keep
music?
inspired
Right.
music.
I think he's about to inspire a bunch of non-black kids to be and embody that shit. That
And as
you
long as
To do
they got a
stupid
nigga
shit
like
for
you,
clicks?
they would be called king.
No. I didn't say do stupid shit for clicks. But in terms of being a part of this culture, it was a Mexican kid who was claiming that he was whatever. I do believe people, and I think that's one of the reasons, and this guy's not even in that type of life really, kind of, but I'm like even Nav, it emboldens other people who aren't black and see that you have made an imprint on a culture. You're Mexican or you're Indian.
So
or
say
whatever.
the king of
racist
Mexicans.
now.
Say the nigga to the king of Mexicans then.
Okay, I feel like this is over.
like-
Let's just
Hey,
Come on,
listen.
man, like you wildin'.
I think we got revisionist history because it all sounds great to dispute when he's locked up.
Yeah.
All
We
I'm
was
saying
disputing
is,
this when he was home. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
who?
We was all
us.
talking. No, we was disputing
course,
this when he was
other
home.
artists
Alright,
were doing it.
us.
Yeah.
But all the other artists we talking about.
So you saying
nobody-
niggas got brave when he went to jail? That's what you saying?
No, I'm just saying I didn't hear French say this before. I heard
He's
other,
asked the question.
I heard,
French ain't really
I heard
good doing
other
interviews.
artists say it, but it was on joke and shit like A Boogie and Don Q and him. They were all cool. I never see nobody says fuck out of you. Like T.I. was actually contested. People had problems with him proclaiming king. With 6ix9ine, it was like.
But I think to
all right,
Wayno's
whatever.
point, a lot of people didn't take it seriously enough to even bother contesting it
Because they
publicly.
felt like, yo,
that
this
he
shit is
might
gonna
not be
end
here. Something
soon.
really horrible is gonna happen.
It's gonna end soon, and they weren't wrong.
Yeah. Look, all right.
Let's keep it moving. But
To
that
wrap
was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, right.
That was fun.
To wrap this one up.
Hey,
real
y'all,
quick.
me and Ak actually don't hate each other.
Yeah,
Please
bro, I be getting
understand
texts
that.
like, yo, Ak and Wayno okay, got heated.
We
to
don't
this.
hate
It's
each
a
other,
fucking
yo.
debate show. It's all love. It's all
Well,
love.
listen, I gotta get y'all to tune in. Sometimes these motherfuckers be agreeing too much. I gotta flip this
No,
shit.
you're great at playing
I gotta
devil's
get paid.
advocate.
What the fuck? What y'all think y'all got me here for? Let's get to it.
All right,
Go
so
ahead.
let's clear up this Fashion Nova thing real quick. So apparently 6ix9ine inked a 6-figure deal with Fashion Nova before he got locked up. And so the plan was to include branding in his video from Mama with Kanye and Nicki. But remember, that video shoot got erupted by gunfire. Clearly, that's not going to be finished, right? He also changed the lyrics. He referenced Fashion Nova on the song as part of the branding. But when it dropped, it was missing. And of course, TMZ is saying a source told them that Nicki asked him to remove the line because Cardi had a Fashion Nova deal. And now they didn't get their 6 figures. Ak, is this true or not?
Well, I mean, I have some of the same sources who told me the same things, except I think how people are running it, and it's so unfortunate that he's in jail because he looks like the bad guy. I seen an article that said he scammed Fashion Nova. No, he made a song, right? And he name-dropped Fashion Nova because it's a poppin' brand that's relevant now. And Fashion Nova, being the astute businessmen that they are, to say, you know what? Yo, you giving us like some free promo. You probably gonna do a video for this. We'll give you some money to kind of repay that effort of you name-dropping us to like include us in your video. So they pay up front like, okay, here, I think it was like $100,000. It wasn't, you know what I mean? I seen articles that said 300. It was definitely not that. And pretty much the video shoot got interrupted. And the song got changed because, again, allegedly, Nicki don't fuck with anything that Cardi fucks with, and Cardi fucks with Fashion Nova. So again, I think he was getting blamed for that, and you know what I mean? I kind of almost sound like, because he's locked up, his like PR, but like.
You are.
No, but if we are talking about just what really happened, nigga got locked up. Shit happens, right? That's not him scamming Fashion Nova. The line got removed from the song. That's not him saying, "Oh, we're not gonna put Fashion Nova in the song, thanks for the check." Another
Just
artist
not
on the
that
song,
song.
another artist on the song said, "No, I don't like that line because you changed it."
But why wouldn't he say Fashion Nova on another song then?
Huh? Well, all this happened. He went to jail.
I mean, he was doing music. Like he was doing music, right? I mean, he did a whole
I ain't gonna
album.
lie. This is what I heard. By the time he had to change it, he got locked up like 3 days later.
Yes.
Like literally. So it wasn't much like time to like plan or whatever. And by the way, Kanye shouted out Fashion Nova on another track.
He probably would have made a song called Nova anyway or some shit. You know him with them funny names with them songs.
Yeah, and by the way, just to be clear, I don't even blame Nicki, just because, you know what? I think Nicki and 6ix9ine and how Nicki, I would give up everything for Nicki to be on my song. Nicki promotes every feature like her song. So I could imagine, say Nicki did say to 6ix9ine, yo, I don't like you mentioning Fashion Nova, please change it. Now I know we talk about stopping bags, but I wouldn't get at her for that because she's helped 6ix9ine in so many ways that, yeah, maybe this story looks weird, but like she's helped you almost get a #1 with Fifi. She's promoted your record endlessly. She's gonna work this Mama record like you were out. So you got to, I mean, it's give and take. This happens all the time. For some reason, everything with Nicki that she's stopping bags, quote unquote, just keeps getting exposed.
Well, she made merch out of it anyway, so
Let me
she's
tell
all
both of
good.
y'all something. I'm paused, but I'm 6'9"'d out.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm 6'9"'d out, man. It's too much. I can't take it.
Hey, I told you guys I wanted to start with fan questions. You guys wanted to do this
26
question.
minutes of the show, all 6ix9ine.
I know, yo. Sorry, guys. Slow news week. Every time we're off, I swear to God, all the good stuff happens. All right, so real quick before we get to fan questions, let's talk about this new Black Thought project. So he released a new EP called Streams of Thought Volume 2, produced by Salaam Remi. 9 tracks, features from Tish Hyman and Rick Ruffin. This is the follow-up to Streams of Thoughts Volume 2 with Ninth Wonder, which dropped in June. What do you guys think of this project?
So listening to this, I really liked Streams of Thought Volume 1 with Ninth Wonder. Like this one, I'm happy that it was a little bit longer, right? But Black Thought is a master, right? Like I feel like he's a master. And Salaam Remi, like a lot of people don't know, like Salaam Remi did a lot of your favorite records. It's unfortunate that we can't read as much credits as we used to, but just going over this fentanyl, like the first joint, he's touching on a lot of perspective on here. Fentanyl, of course, he's talking about drug epidemics, people dying from that shit, all of that. Then you got Get Outlined. That's my favorite joint, where he talked about like violence in Philly, and he also talked about like kind of violence in Chicago. And then he flipped it from there, going into How to Hold a Chopper, which How to Hold a Chopper, he was basically saying like teaching your kids, you know what I mean, how to use weapons. We was having like an offshore conversation about that yesterday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and just what black people face with doing things like that. Like I said, man, Black Thought is a master, man. Like if you really love rap music and you really love lyrics, this whole shit sound like a beat break. Like it sounded like it was being done live. Like it sounded like they was doing an unplug. And from start to finish, it's just a masterpiece. That's how I sum it up. Bro. And I felt like I could sum that up quickly because Black Thought is very, very direct in his approach and his delivery and how he makes these songs.
Yeah, master lyricist.
Absolutely.
Did this hurt your head?
No, I'm gonna tell you why I didn't. Okay. By the way, salute to Tish Hyman. Okay. I love that she's getting the opportunity to, you know what I mean, hold it down here. She did a great job. Anyway, 23 minutes, 9 songs, didn't miss a beat. This shit was actually great. Fentanyl, I love that track. To be honest, and this is why it didn't hurt my head. I hate when niggas just rap and don't say shit. There's some niggas just be just rapping around words and just show that they know to get to a thesaurus. But they don't got no message. They don't have any cohesive thing that they're addressing. They're not kicking knowledge, as we like to say. They're just rapping. And that's not what's happening here. And I was listening to it, and to be honest, I thought like, because when I was listening, I always tell you, I got moods when I listen to shit.
Right.
So like, if I'm...
Where was you at? Where you listening to this?
I
was really in the car, and I was like, yo, I really want to go listen to the Bitch I'm Stupid. You're like, oh, no, Bitch I'm Silly, whatever. That's a stupid
See?
song.
One mood.
Okay, anyway.
Right.
No, I'm in a car. I got to keep turned up or else I fall asleep. I don't know.
Okay.
I got some type of car fall asleep thing going on. Anyway, I put it on just like, yo, let me at least start it. And I started and I finished the whole thing. And not that it was only short, like I actually heard him really addressing shit. And I heard him addressing shit also with lyricism. I'm like, yo, this is like a complete body of work. 9 songs didn't feel like it was short to me. It felt like it was just enough. And the flow of everything was almost perfect. To be honest, I think this is one of the better projects I heard this year. Not gonna lie.
I'm very surprised with Ak, man.
Not gonna lie. No, hold on. And by the way, like
Not being funny, I'm serious.
we have saluted Black Thought when we've seen him like do
it's
freestyle
freestyle
and shit.
shit.
Like, again, there's a lot of niggas that can rap. We know there's some niggas who hit that little fast flow. You got this little flow that's really dope. But I like it when you could, you know what I mean? And maybe this is the misconception about me that I only like hot songs or like singles. And I do love those. Don't get it fucked up.
Everybody does like, you know, have fun.
But I don't mind lyricism, especially when you're fucking giving a message and you're actually rapping about something.
Yeah.
Like if I'm listening, I'm like, yo, you're just rapping and rapping. I'm like, okay, you passed the I could rap really well check. But when you're actually saying some shit and I'm thinking about it, like he said even some shit, like he said some shit about even Prince on the first time. I was Googling and shit. Like, I feel like
Something's
a nigga's
gonna make you
really,
think. Something's gonna make you
something's
think.
really making me think.
It's so funny, like at Root's picnic earlier this year, me and Jadakiss was joking, and he was like, yo, he's like, this dude is a machine. He's like, yo, he did 4 shows today. It was like the end of the night. He's like, yo, he's still up there rapping. So I really felt like when Black Thought came out, because he came out with the Roots, right? He came out with the Roots. And I know, I never felt like the Roots held him back. I felt like everything he did was perfect with the Roots, but I love where his career is going. Like, I love where his career is going. Like, in terms of Philly lyricists, he's definitely up there as one of the top, you know, if not the top of all time, from Philly. You know, salute to Black Thought, man. And think about this, 9 songs on this one, 5 on the other one.
Yeah.
We used to get in 20 songs and we can't even say one good thing about it. We got, what's that, 14 altogether?
Yeah.
From 2 different projects that we can respect this year.
I didn't even hear Volume 1.
Volume 1?
But I'm probably gonna go listen
Dog, it's
to
Ninth
it.
Wonder. You gotta join in there with Styles P. That's crazy too.
Yeah, I'll definitely go listen to it just because I was really impressed. It ain't a snoozer. It ain't some shit that would be like, man, this nigga about to rap me to sleep. You know what I mean? A good little NyQuil song. No, this shit's kind of fire, yo. And also, like, if you ever like, I think, I don't even smoke, but like, if you want people who like just, you be thinking about shit.
Left.
For real talk though, when you like, you just like thinking of some shit, because you hear some shit that make you think. Like, I heard shit like this, and again, I don't smoke, but I was thinking, I was like, when I'm pausing the song to hit the Googles,
I can't
I'm
wait
hitting
to
the
get you
Googles.
high when they act.
I'm hitting the Googles,
Yo,
man.
How you gonna talk
Salute
about
to Black Thought, yo.
smoking never got high.
What's happening?
No, but listen, salute to
No,
Black
because
Thought.
every time I've been around high niggas, all it is they be saying some dumb shit. Well, not dumb shit, but like, they be just thinking about some shit. Like, yo, did we really go to the moon?
Damn,
I'm
Yeah,
like,
we
wait,
get
why the
super
fuck?
existential. You're not
Wait,
trying to go.
way to make
we're
a
past
blanket
the moon. We're
statement.
going to Mars now.
No, not dumb
Come on,
statement,
bruh.
but like, y'all really be just thinking about some shit that's
We're
just,
thinkers. What can
like,
we do?
nobody thinks about unless you're high.
All right.
High thoughts is a real thing. Wayno, that's a show.
But I thought this
All right.
That's a show to Nadeska.
Thank you. That's going to be my show.
Right.
High Thoughts with Nadeska.
I'll catch secondhand high in the room.
All right, I'm going to let you guys pick the fan question. You want to do the one about beats, or do you want to do one about album lengths? Since we just talked about that with Black Thoughts.
Doing both. Let's get it.
We're not gonna fit both. All right, let's go with the beats. Can we pull up this first question? I really like this one. We spoke about samples recently, artists having trouble clearing beats, etc. So I like this. Do you guys think most of the current beats will be sampled in the future or not? Or are they just beats for the moment? I'm comparing it to how most of the old beats are currently being sampled because of the creativity they carry with them. This is a long question. Example, Uproar by Lil Wayne being taken from Special Delivery. In My Feelings being sampled from Lollipop by Wayne. This is dope because there are a lot of big samples this year. So we pulled a couple. Yeah, In My Feelings was Smoking Gun by Magnolia Shorty. Of course, he sampled Lauryn Hill on Nice for What. All right, so obviously Barbie Dreams sampled Biggie, and then Sicko Mode, Biggie again. So anyway, do you guys think the current beats, original beats, are gonna be sampled 5-10 years down the line?
Yeah, I mean, a big misconception about, what's the Lil Wayne joint? Uproar is that everybody thinks it's special delivery, which we know it for special delivery, but that's actually special delivery is a sample. So but that's what people more notably know it for special delivery, but that was a sample. So I think it's gonna be certain songs that are sampled. Drake is gonna be heavily sampled 15 years from now. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of kids that grew up on Drake are not only gonna try to recreate some of the songs that he did, but Best I Ever Had might be one of the first samples we see from a Drake because it was like that was his moment and everybody knows it. I could see that being sampled, but again, that's a sample of a sample.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like the more I listen to like old records, I'm building my vinyl collection. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not good at checking samples. So I hear songs, I'm like, oh, there's nothing original out here.
Yeah, I mean, I always look at like, so, I mean, there is originality on every record, even if it's using a sample or anything else. Like it might just be the acapella. It might just be a verse, a hook, a line, whatever it is. And I look at it now and I mean, of course there will be stuff from now that's sampled and repurposed. It's just, I think, where do you see the majority of it coming from? Like, shit, I look at what we would consider even neo-soul now. Like most of these records now that are like top of the charts, too much 808, too much fucking just like drums. Like, if you remember soul samples, you could catch like a good like little break.
Or little bars that said something.
And like either that or it wasn't like so drum heavy so you could program your own drums around it. And I look at that now, if we're gonna continue in that, right? Unless we're gonna just replay shit, it's cool to replay shit or just separate it by the acapella. Like neo soul will still like whatever, what still considers neo soul now? But
I don't know, they got so many different fucking genres.
I'm pretty sure SZA and them definitely gonna get sampled.
You know who I think?
100%. I think they're getting sampled. Some of Drake's shit. I think most of Drake's shit that will be sampled won't be the singles. I think it'll be some of the joints. Go back to Take Care. Some of the joints where he's just kind of just fucking singing on some simping shit. Those I believe will be sampled, and I think those will get almost flipped in a really cool way.
Well, with you saying that, you know what I think kids will be sampling more instead of sampling like, not just the sound, but probably the song. I think that we'll see another I'm a Boss, like how Meek had I'm a Boss. I could see, it's certain narratives and songs that will always forever be there. So it's like, there's never gonna be a time where a person doesn't wanna feel like a boss or wanna attain that, right? So I'm definitely sure it's gonna be a kid that samples Jallo beats. You know what I mean? I'm a Boss. But I think it's gonna be more on what was talked about in the record. And I don't know what we don't know what this generation is gonna be. I mean, they haven't even done case studies on kids that sit on their phones all day and the effects of that 10 years from now. So we don't know what type of music is gonna be made.
I have a prediction, 30 to 40% of samples in the next 20 years, or let's go fast forward 10 years from now and 20 years after that, it's gonna be off Instagram videos, just iconic shit.
So no more of the classics, no more like Nina Simone and all of those. Like
shit. I think sometimes like you see like dope like for example, To the Max by Drake, which was kind of universally killed. Even though I thought it was some Jersey Club shit. A lot of people say it was some Miami like their sound, right? It was a mix. Anyway, but still, the beat that came from that little thing to start it off was just this dude in his college dorm on Instagram just fucking like doing that. I guess Khaled sort of, or whoever was the full producer, and made that into the beat. We see Drake sample Plies to use as like skits or like an intro. We see there was a girl that Kanye used on
the little girl,
The Life of Pablo. I think those also enhance the song as well.
The only problem with shit like that is this. You know, with sampling, like when people sample songs, you got your copyright, so you get a percentage and you have to authorize it. There's gonna be a thing that changes with social media where if people are gonna start doing that, there's gonna be some sort of case where motherfuckers is like, yo, you can't just use my voice without authorizing it. Because as of right now, I'm pretty sure the kid, remember the kid who was on Chief Keef shit, was like, I'm not playing with y'all, I'm gonna fucking beat y'all ass, talking about Keef on Love So-So on his album. He was saying that he didn't get no money for that, right?
Well, here's the thing about that too. That's really just you catching up with the times as well, right?
Right.
I was sampled, like a YouTube video of mine was sampled on Wi-Fi's Funerals album. You get me? And like, yeah, they're gonna hit you like, yo, hey, we're using your shit. And a lot of times people are happy, yo, Keef using my shit.
Yeah.
I ain't asking for no money until you realize how much money Keef
it becomes a business because look, Dipset sampled Drake doing an interview and saying, yo, he was like, I was working on my album and I told him, I want some Dipset shit. You know what I mean? And they sampled Drake's voice. So the thing is that, of course, with great music and great talent and all of that, it's gonna be lawsuits all the time.
Right.
So we're gonna start seeing people or Instagram personalities. I'm pretty sure people gonna start using Shiggy's fucking skits and all of that. They're gonna start wanting bread from that, like in the future. So it's gonna be some legislation passed to make shit like that happen.
Yeah, I feel like social media is just gonna be a part of just what sampling is.
Yeah.
Like we saw, even if it's a retake of something that is like older. Like for example, remember the dude that did the oh, you think you lying shit? Like, you remember that guy? And he was just like doing this shit. It was like, yo, you lying?
Yeah, why you always lying?
You always
Yeah.
lying,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, that became a song. That shit was lit in the
Yo,
club for a
it was
little
so
bit.
crazy. He was
But
saying,
he was sampling. He was really making a
Rephrase it,
parody of like the old shit.
right. But remember L from Next and them, they were saying that it was a lot of kids that, of course, that was a song that came out when I was a teenager.
But they didn't know the
But
original
they didn't
song,
know
they
the
just heard
original
that?
song.
That's
So they
pretty
thought
dope.
because in the club, they started playing that shit
No,
and then they would
stop.
play it into the song. So you know how a lot of songs, like some DJs, they have their sets, and the first person I seen do it, and I might be wrong, was Just Blaze, where he would play Best I Ever Had. He would play the sample or play the sample to Exhibit C and then play the record, right? So they are starting to play like the little Instagram parodies in the club because people are gravitating, this generation knows that, and then play the record. But a lot of kids didn't know Rel and them records, so they was kind of upset, like, damn, this dude's getting credit for the new generation for our song and nobody knows.
Yeah, but I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
Especially with the soul records, there's just so many arbitrary things. Like, you know, Kanye was a master of finding these like samples
Yeah.
that weren't super popular records and pulling it. So there's stuff that like, yeah, as I listen, I'm still discovering. And I feel
Yo.
bad. I feel like I'm not
Hey.
doing my due diligence.
But
you
at the
know?
same time, I still love soul. Like we was asking, would those? Because you asked, like, would those still exist? Like, there's always gonna be a time for soul samples
Yeah.
because I think when you got like the J. Cole's, even now, every now and then, like when Kanye did Bound 2, every now and then he throws like a sample in there. There's always gonna be a time to pay homage to the people before you, and as long as their estate is willing to clear it and they're still here, that's gonna keep going on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those create great records.
Sampling will never go away because that feeling of a hit record, even if it's for a different generation, if you could take that sound and update it, you are almost guaranteed. That's why people charge so much for like, yeah, you gonna use my sample? I already had a hit. My shit's proven. You trying to prove it. So like you look at just how everybody's just updating shit. Like, I mean, I do believe even beyond that, look at even, and not to even go back to somebody we talked about already, but like 6ix9ine, like most of his like catchy shit, he referenced or he was sampling other shit. Like Stupid, he's pretty much using Finito, which is a Chief Keef record. In his other record, he's using some shit that already worked. So like, I mean, whether it's like a sample directly or interpolation, right?
You know that way he did Finito, he was trolling Doug. Like, see, this is the funny shit that comes along because
Yo, he's trolling, but it works.
yeah,
It's
but he did it. He did it in a. That's what I'm saying. He did it in a disrespectful way.
the BB with the Robin shit. No, I get it. No,
Finito, no, the BB with the Rob, all that's cool.
No,
I'm
no.
talking about the Finito
Of course
shit.
he makes
You
it
know
disrespect.
he was being disrespectful by doing that shit.
Of course he makes his disrespect with everything.
Right.
You get it. But I'm just talking about.
He had to bring it back to 6ix9ine.
No, I'm just talking about sampling. I'm just talking about sampling.
I know.
Like
I know.
sampling and interpolation, like it will always be here, even not only on a beat perspective, like the instrumental, like an artist, like if you quote a 50 line that's legendary in your shit, it might just bring it back. But honestly, you're like, just like you're saying about I'm a Boss. Like there's certain shit.
And then a narrative there that you call
100%, there's gonna be at least 5 people in the next 15 years that quotes that line from Meek. Scared money don't make no money. If I ever go broke, I'm gonna take your money. They're
Absolutely.
gonna flip it somewhere else.
Somebody gonna
That's
do
the
that.
hook now. That,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? Or you're gonna just say it in your shit and bring it back and be like, oh shit. And then people, and who knows? That generation listens to that shit might be like, damn, yo, my new favorite artist just said this shit. Then they find out, oh, Meek Mill said this like back in like 2012 or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So shit always comes back. I just think that now, the way how we look at sampling, like I remember seeing, like I listened to Dipset old shit, they would just take the entire master of the song and loop it. Kanye did a lot. Now I feel like people just take different parts, like just the acapella or just like this part of the beat or just take an Instagram clip. And yeah, it's gonna continue. Like we just don't know what. Anything that goes viral will be a nostalgic moment.
Maybe they'll be sampling more Sting songs.
don't
Since
do
this
that.
generation is all alternative rock, they're gonna start going more in that direction.
If you
Oh,
want
these emo kids. Oh my God.
if you want to get on, you can do that. But if you want to get paid,
Gonna get
you
paid,
do
don't
not.
stay away from it. Oh man. All right, I think that's our show. We don't have time for another question, but look, we will be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Special Friday episode of Everyday Struggle. Have a great day.
Meek album coming out tomorrow. What do you think you're doing?
Tonight.
Tonight, yeah, tonight. Tonight, midnight.
We'll talk about it
Don't wear
tomorrow.
white tomorrow, Ak.